sun should be coming.
I just still wanting to do the.
What do you recommend?
I don't know. Maybe if you zoom in tight on me, it'll be better.
Yeah, I agree. And this, yeah.
Manuscripts published. Yes. It was unusual. She worked hard. But yeah, before that, she was already pretty cool. And actually, I guess these are about circumcision as a prevention intervention for HIV with several African countries, Uganda, among them. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of research. And she's a musician.
Double whammy.
Yeah, right. Maybe.
This is a broken winged bird, and his flight is very slow. Assist him so that he may fly toward the apex of prosperity and salvation. Wing his way with the utmost joy and happiness throughout the illimitable space. Raise his melody, it must be made in all the regions. Exhilarate the ears with his call and brighten alone and longing. For me there is no support, save thee. No helper except thee, and no sustainer beside thee. Confirm me in thy service, thou seest me with the cohorts of angels, make me victorious in the promotion of thy word, and suffer me to speak out thy wisdom amongst thy creatures. Verily, thou art the helper of the weak and the defender of the little ones. And verily, thou art the powerful, the mighty, and the unconstrained. Know a little bit about who's in the room, but I feel like there's too many people to go around. How many are here at this gathering for the first time?
This
Yeah.
particular place.
Yeah.
Not my first gathering.
Okay. Great. So it seems like this is a lot of people have come here many times. That's great. This is my first time at this house, and I want to thank our host for a lovely setting and a lovely meal. So this evening, the topic is the spiritual destiny of America. And for those of you who might be new to learning about the Baha'i faith, I just want to start by mentioning that the Baha'i faith was founded by Baha'u'llah, which means the glory of God, in 1844, with the mission really of unifying the human race and breathing a new life into the spirit of the world. And the Baha'i faith has no clergy. So I'm not clergy of the Baha'i faith, I'm just a person. And what I'm about to present to you is really my own individual understanding and interpretation, and really shouldn't be viewed as any kind of official position on anything. So that by way of introduction. So why are we talking about the spiritual destiny of America? It seems like a couple of months ago our country may have changed, or seemed like it changed courses. I'm not really here to talk about politics, but I think the political situation has changed, and that's caused a lot of us to really question where we're going as a country. And Baha'is actually don't participate in partisan politics. So while we can vote and we can serve in the government in appointed positions, we don't discuss candidates, we don't affiliate ourselves with political parties, we obey our governments as long as they don't ask us to recant our faith. And the reason for this is really that the purpose of the Baha'i faith is to unify humankind. And so we don't want to engage in anything that is forcing people to take sides and be contentious and cause division. But I think that at the same time, the recent election has brought up some new emotions, some new processes. It's surfaced a lot of conversations about excluding people. We have recent executive orders that are supposedly trying to keep Muslims out of the country. We're talking about reinforcing illegal immigration and possibly targeting anybody who might look like a Mexican and harassing them. So all of these things are very concerning to anybody who is who's concerned with unity and concerned with the well-being of the entire human race. And, sometimes it might even seem like our civil society, our ability to talk with each other in a way that is productive and constructive is crumbling. And that in and of itself can even be terrifying. I live in Washington, D.C., so we're kind of ground zero for a lot of this stuff, and people are very upset. Personally, I've been very emotionally affected by what's been going on in our country the past couple of months. But at the same time, as a Baha'i, I can say that I'm reassured. And why is that? It's because Baha'u'llah actually told us that this is coming. Maybe not specifically exactly this sequence of events, but he told us that this was coming. So consider this quotation from Baha'u'llah. He said, "Soon will the present day order be rolled up and a new one spread out in its stead." He said, "The world's equilibrium hath been upset through the vibrating influence of this this new world order. Mankind's ordered life hath been revolutionized through the agency of this wondrous system, the like of which mortal eyes have never witnessed." And he also said, "The signs of impending convulsions and chaos can now be discerned, inasmuch as the prevailing order appears to me to be lamentably defective." So Baha'u'llah was writing this in the mid to late 1800s. So he's talking about large processes in the world. And he's warning us that we better hold on to our seats, because the world is going to be changing in some very substantive ways. Another concept that can help us as we are holding on to our seats is this concept of crisis and victory. So the great-grandson of Baha'u'llah, who was named Shoghi Effendi, he was the leader of the Baha'i faith between 1921 and 1957. He often talked about this phenomenon of crisis and victory, which is a characteristic of progress, both on the individual level and on a societal level. So oftentimes a leap forward is preceded by a severe setback or crisis. And this is similar to fire that burns impurity away from gold. So when we understand crises in this perspective, it can help us to view them in a more positive light. And so when Baha'is look at what's happening in the United States today, as upset and frightened as some of us may be, we can also see this as a crisis that is destined to lead to a huge victory, the nature of which we can really only guess. So here's Shoghi Effendi explaining about crisis and victory. He says, "Such simultaneous processes of rise and fall, of integration and of disintegration, of order and chaos, with their continuous and reciprocal reactions on each other, are but aspects of a greater plan, one and indivisible, whose source is God, whose author is Baha'u'llah, the theater of whose operations is the entire planet, and whose ultimate objectives are the unity of the human race and the peace of all mankind." So that's kind of a very comforting perspective on where we're going. He also says, "The world, especially in these days, is full of woes and sufferings. We should be brave and have a stout heart. Trials and tribulations should arise in us added vigor and greater determination, and not dampen our zeal and kill our spirit." So we're going to take a little music break and have a song that's related to crisis and victory. And this song is called "Softness Can You." All you're going to have to say is "pure love." Okay, so it goes "pure love," that's it. And you do it 4 times. The 4th time, you're going to look at me and I'm going to be doing something else and you're going to think you made a mistake, but you didn't. Okay?
So it's kind of like call and response in gospel music.
4 times in a row.
Maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
sort of. Okay, so let's just practice pure love. Okay, ready, set, go. Pure love. Again.
Pure love.
Perfect. Okay, you're ready. 4 times. Yeah, we'll do it. You'll do it 4 times, and I'll do it 3. Okay, song about graces and victory. Tear out the scars, make room for a clean structure with integrity, soft strength and clarity. Tear out my heart, reweave veins and arteries, built on new soft strength receptivity. Scoop me out and fill me with pure love, not yet, just waiting to birth with pure love. Scoop me out and fill me with pure love. Scoop me out and fill me with pure love. It's a pain to birth with pure love. Scoop me out and fill me with pure love. I don't know, beautiful mantra. I don't know, open to your way. I don't know, beautiful mantra. I don't know, open to your way. Loving being torn to pieces, loving your gentle hands, molding me again and again with a play of love. Here goes. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, made anew. Made from you. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, make me new. Made from you, yeah. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. It's a pain to birth with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. It's a pain to birth with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. Come on. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, made anew. Pure love, from you. Come on. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, made anew. Made from you. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. It's a pain to birth with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. It's a pain to birth with pure love. Scoop me out, fill me with pure love. Last time. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, made anew. Pure love, from you. Last time. Pure love, make me new. Pure love, make me you. Pure love, made anew. Pure love, from you.
Wonderful.
You may not know exactly how or when we will get there, but Baha'u'llah has made it clear where we're going. Ultimately, the processes at work will lead to a peaceful society in which all of humanity understand that we are one people and act accordingly. We will eliminate racism. We will eliminate extreme nationalism, gender discrimination, extremes of wealth and poverty, and all forms of oppression, injustice, and tyranny. We will institute universal education, a universal auxiliary language, and a world federal government that benevolently regulates the affairs of humanity. And what is the role of America in all of this? The son of Baha'u'llah, Abdul Baha, says, "The continent of America is, in the eyes of the one true God, the land wherein the splendors of his light shall be revealed, where the mysteries of his faith shall be unveiled, where the righteous will abide and the free will assemble." And Baha'u'llah, in his most holy book, the Kitab-i-Aqdas, he wrote to the chief magistrates of the entire American continent, bidding them to bind with the hands of justice the broken, crush the oppressor with the rod of the commandments of their Lord. So we have some very specific instructions from Baha'u'llah. And even more specifically, he wrote to the great Republic of the West, which he proclaims to be worthy of being the first to build the tabernacle of the most great peace and proclaim the oneness of mankind, to be equipped and empowered to accomplish that which will adorn the pages of history, to become the envy of the world and be blessed in both the East and the West. The Baha'i writings state that America, in particular the United States, has a leading role to play in the erection of this world peaceful society. Abdu'l-Baha says, "May this American democracy be the first nation to establish the foundation of international agreement. May it be the first nation to proclaim the unity of mankind. May it be the first to unfurl the standard of the most great peace. The American nation is equipped and empowered to accomplish that which will adorn the pages of history, to become the envy of the world and be blessed in the East and the West. The American continent gives signs and evidences of very great advancement. Its future is even more promising, for its influence and illumination are far-reaching. It will lead all nations spiritually." Now, Shoghi Effendi, always the pragmatist, he says, "Delays must inevitably arise. Setbacks must be suffered in the course of that country's evolution towards its ultimate destiny. Nothing, however, can alter eventually the course ordained for it. Such an evolution must persist until such time when that nation will, through the active and decisive part it will have played in the organization and peaceful settlement of the affairs of mankind, have attained the plenitude of its powers and functions as an outstanding member and component part of a federated world." And Shoghi Effendi also says, "However severe the storms that may buffet it in the days to come in either hemisphere, that great republic will continue to evolve, undivided and undefeatable, until the sum total of its contributions to the birth, the rise, and the fruition of that world civilization will have been made and its last task discharged." So, the bottom line of this is, don't be scared. This is a phase that we're going through, and we know where we're going to end up. And as Americans, we have a very special role to play in that, spiritual role to play. So it's nice and it's reassuring to have this perspective, and at the same time we might ask ourselves individually, what can I do right now today? So, because since we're not involved in politics, right now we're not going to be involved with America leading the world into a world federal government. We're not going to be playing a direct role with that at the moment. But as individuals and communities, we do have something that we can be working on. So we can work to improve our own spiritual lives, and we can put these principles into action, the ones that we talked about before: justice, the elimination of prejudice, universal education. So the Baha'is worldwide, including here in the United States, including here in Tacoma, under the guidance of our international governing body, the Universal House of Justice, we're engaging our neighbors in a grassroots effort to spiritually empower our communities. And maybe during the discussion, the Baha'is here can share a little bit about how that's going. So there's a systematic process of education and spiritual community which is being developed and implemented, and it includes neighborhood interfaith prayer gatherings and service-oriented education for children, youth, and adults. And this process, if you consider it, it stands in direct contrast to the conflict-oriented activism, which is which is popular in this country today. So how can we make a difference in society without buying into this idea that the only way to make a difference is to fight with people? There are other ways to operate. Would it not be more powerful, for example, to assist a young person and ultimately an entire community to see themselves as empowered to make a difference in their community and the world through service to others? And this is exactly what is happening in Baha'i children's classes and junior youth groups, study circles, and devotional gatherings. People are becoming empowered to make a difference through service with a spiritual perspective. I have an example of this from DC, and I'm wondering maybe it might be more interesting to hear an example from Tacoma. Is there an example of something, in one of your neighborhood activities that you've seen that's made a difference in terms of fostering community, empowering people, fostering justice, making a difference? Does somebody have a very brief example to share? I see a hand in the back. Can you stand up so that your voice will carry?
She needs a partner too. Some of the things us as a community is we would do outings, and one.
Come step in here where we can hear you better.
Yeah, we can't hear
Come
you.
here. Come step forward here. That's okay.
Or you can yell.
See Georgia. See Georgia.
Thank you.
We help like the homeless. What was it? The Adams family help homeless shelter,
Mhm.
and it was a very good experience for us not to do just anything selfish and to help like just people around us that are in need, I guess.
Mhm.
And it was really, really good experience, and we all had a lot of fun.
And what did you get out of doing that?
I learned not to be so selfish and be like thankful for what I have, because people are less fortunate too. So
Yeah.
I think we should do that again. It was really fun. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's great. City, it used to be almost, like over 90% African American. Now it's about 45% African American.
But after 6, it's time to sleep.
Not,
I was kidding.
not anymore. Not anymore.
Wait, what?
But and there are also a lot of Africans. There are a lot of Latinos in the neighborhood that I live in. There are a lot of El Salvadorans, and these neighborhood activities have really enabled people from different walks of life and people from different racial and economic backgrounds to start to build friendships with each other and get to know each other on a very personal level. And there have been instances where, I was hearing a story when I was kind of researching this talk. Somebody shared a story about there was a children's class in one of the neighborhoods where, there were Black families and white families and Indian families. And the parents became very involved with each other, and they would do things together. And they started, inviting each other to birthday parties and other family things. But for some reason, like, the Black family never got invited over to the white family's houses, and vice versa. And this children's class has been going on now for years. And just recently, for the first time, that started happening. So, it just goes to show that some of the divisions in our society are very deep, but by associating with each other in a context that's really endeavoring to build unity, we can somehow start to overcome these barriers. I'm not sure what led to that change. I don't think it was an explicit conversation. about racism or about separation, but it was just perhaps a natural evolution of working together in the community. So bringing it all back together in summary, as distressing as these current times may be, Baha'u'llah, I had another song, I forgot. I have another song before I go to it. It's called Hands. If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be we're all okay. And not to worry, because worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless, won't be idle with despair. Will gather myself around my faith that lights the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know that they're not yours, they are my own. And not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, it didn't steal your laughter, and heartache came to visit, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We will fight, not out of spite. Someone must stand up for what's right. For where there is a man who has no voice, there I was shallow singing. My hands are small, I know that they're not yours, they are my own. And not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. Yeah. My hands are small, I know that they're not yours, they are my own. And not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. We are never broken. We are God's hands, we are God's heart, we are God's eyes, we are God's hands, we are God's hands. My hands are small, I know that they're not yours, they are my own. And not yours, they are my own. And I am never broken. We are never broken.
Thank you.
Integration of the old world order to make room for a peaceful, just, and united society. And America has a special role to play, both politically and spiritually. Meanwhile, as individuals, we are not to sit idle. We have work to do. We can't afford to be distracted or despondent in these trying times. As frightening as these times may be, we can't allow them to make us lose our focus of the task at hand, the task no less than the spiritual revolution of the planet. Current events should make us even more firm and more determined. The Baha'is and those who work alongside us will not be spared or protected by God from the chaos and destruction. We will go through the same tests as the rest of the world is enduring, but we will go through them reassured by the understanding of the processes at work and the ultimate outcome, which is nothing less than the spiritual and political unification of mankind. So I'd like to close with a couple of quotes. This is from Shoghi Effendi. He said, "The task summoning us to a challenge, unprecedented in its gravity and force, is too vast and sacred. The time too short, the hour too perilous, the workers too few, the call too insistent, the resources too inadequate, for us to allow these precious and fleeting hours to slip from our grasp, and to suffer the prizes within our reach to be endangered or forfeited." Abdul Baha has encouraged us. He says, "Be not concerned with the smallness of your numbers, neither be oppressed by the multitude of an unbelieving world. Exert yourselves. Your mission is unspeakably glorious. Should success crown your enterprise, America will assuredly evolve into a center from which waves of spiritual power will emanate. And the throne of the kingdom of God will, in the plenitude of its majesty and glory, be firmly established." So I'd like to God, the true one, is my witness. God, the true one, is my witness. This is the day whereon it is incumbent upon everyone that seeth to behold, and every ear that hearkeneth to hear, and every heart that understandeth to perceive. The whole human race hath longed for this day, that perchance it may fulfill that which well beseemeth its station, and is worthy of its destiny. God, the true one, is my witness. 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 To do this. There's a couple of different ways we can proceed with the discussion. So a couple of different groups, and each group could discuss a quote that I'm going to hand out, and then we could report back from our groups about what we got. So what kind of mood are y'all in terms of discussions? You want to play it loose? You want to play groups? You want to...
I'm going to play it
We want groups.
You are a group.
You are a group.
Let's vote. Groups.
Well, okay.
Groups.
The only reason why I said that is
Groups.
All right.
Okay. Everyone in the entire room discussion? You can go twice.
Well,
The only reason why I spoke up is because everywhere I go, I'm usually the only brother in the room.
Come to DC.
Believe me, I've been there. Charlie Rangel was a good friend of mine. But anyway, it's interesting to me, having grown up here in Tacoma. Okay. In 1944, all the black troops could only live in Southland. And then my grandfather, Joe Jordan, became a realtor and made it possible for people to move to the hilltop. But in the hilltop, everybody got along. I mean, we had Norwegians, we had Filipinos, we had Italians, we had Greeks, we had Native Americans, we had everything, all around Tacoma Community House, which I went to kindergarten there and became a board president later. But the whole point is, from my lens, okay, we never saw the differences, in terms of color, in terms of, it was a family. And that old expression of it takes a village to raise a child, that was really, the way we proceeded. So then when did it change? Well, it started in 1964. And my mom builds a nice house out in the north end, round house. The next thing you know, we got eggs thrown at it, and we're talking Tacoma, all right? And so the worst, well, I'll just say straight up, I was the only black male in that school for 2 years. And then Giadroni passed with the board to do open enrollment. So then all of a sudden school started to integrate. Then after that, there's a lot more in there. I think those of you that are from Tacoma know. Then after that, college and the Vietnamese War. So there, a lot of my, fortunately, I had a high number. Plus I was the sole surviving son, so I didn't have to go to Vietnam. But many of my friends, black, white, green, yellow, purple, polka dot, did, and they died. But at the same time, the chaos, as predicted, will come to order at some point in time. The question is, the world order is being disrupted already for many reasons, but the whole world's dysfunctional. So it's the dysfunction that creates a chaos that therefore puts us in a position of fear. So I have no fear. I know my journey is probably already mapped out. Maybe it's one reason what led me here today, I don't know. Divine appointment. So I said all that to say this. If I went through life with people putting labels on me and I accepted it, I would be doing myself a disservice. And I would inhibit myself from being able to help somebody else. So the longevity of my spiritual path is to just keep touching people's lives with positive thoughts. You got negative, positive, light, dark. You can't have one without the other. You can't have evil without peace. The one thing that is in common on this world order that's coming is love. It has everything to do with a universal physiological aspect of our, I heard somebody here, a statistician, but of the physics of the planet and what else is going on in our universe. So an asteroid could be big enough, all right? But you got rock and you got metal. The most famous is metal. You can find scraps of metal, flipped under the ground and mine it, I guess. So there's another thing going on I mean, if I'm in a Hubble that can 370 light years into 3 galaxies in the future, all the way out to a planet called Tau Ceti, you know, then I've got to stay grounded and be ready for the unpredictable. So that's all I can say is, you know, don't sell yourself short. Don't go around with fear, because it's like an animal. You know, an animal smells fear. Ooh.
It reacts.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
Yeah. You know, so just be comfortable in your own skin, I always say. And as a filmmaker, actor, and all that stuff, credits, my lens is always focused on the many colors of the rainbow.
There's the Universal House of Justice. This is a body that's been invested by Baha'i and endued with the spiritual significance by God. And I'm standing on these steps, and with all the other pilgrims, a bunch of children, there's clouds pushing in over the shrine above, and it's raining. Very beautiful, right? The sun's kind of shining through. Next thing you know, you see these 2 rainbows start forming over the shrine above.
Mm-hmm.
It's really significant because in the faith we call the twin luminaries for the Bob and the Baha'i. So of course I'm getting very excited. I'm rounding up all the kids. I'm saying, look at these rainbows, you know. And then I'm explaining to them in Genesis 13, you know, during the flood of Noah, you know, after the flood, the sign of the rainbow was God's sign to man. He would never wipe humanity off the face of the earth again. So, speaking of rainbows, it is a sign of hope. And the best sign for hope today is the revelation that Baha'u'llah brought. And I truly believe that. I've seen it in signs, and I've seen it just now in you, what you just described. So, I truly believe that the spiritual destiny is not just America, but the world itself is heading in the right direction, regardless of what's happening.
Yeah, it's going to be a trial.
Yeah.
You know, well, I could, you know, just stay away from politics. This whole,
And I have like something to like talk about too. Like, he was talking about like all the names that he gets called. Like, I've been called names too. You know, the most racist thing that I've ever been called was an N-word, but with an ER. And I mean,
it's not in the dictionary, by the way.
it is a really, really bad word. I mean, I wasn't offended by it, but at the same time I was, because I mean, you don't just go around calling people that, because if you like, you're lucky I'm not like, they were lucky that I wasn't the person to just like punch him in their face when he said that to me. I just like brushed it off, and I was like, you know what, I'm just do me. I know who I am, you know. I've been called like all sorts of names, like names that are like bad. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I know who I am, I know what I do, and I'm just do me. And if you're not happy with that, I'm sorry that you have a sad life. Like, I can't change that about you. Like, I don't know, like it's retarded that people like call people names, like because I mean I do that, but like in a playful way, like to my friends that they know that I'm playing. Yeah, heard. But I won't say something that's gonna actually offend someone. That's like, if they're Mexican, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're bad, because that's disrespectful, and I wasn't raised disrespectful. I was raised to know the person on the inside and not how they look or how they dressed or how much money they have or the religion and stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really happy with. That, yeah, because I'm like here with all you guys. But I don't understand, because if you call someone something that is people, you don't know what they're going through, because they can go home and do some crazy stuff. Or they can come to a school and do some crazy stuff, because that's been going on lately, like school shootings and stuff like that. Yeah, like it's really, really bad.
Sticks and stones will break my bones.
But words would never hurt me.